Chairman Mast, Ranking Member Crow, Honorable Committee members, and friends of Afghanistan. I'm Thomas Kasza, the Executive Director of the 12-8 Foundation and a Green Beret with 15 years in uniform. The following opinions are mine alone. Now, the improvised explosive device was the insurgents' weapon of choice in Afghanistan, responsible for some 55% of Special Forces deaths. To combat this threat, a unit of specially trained Afghans was formed to safeguard Green Berets like me. They were known as the National Mine Reduction Group, or NMRG, DoD contractors, which makes them eligible for the Special Immigrant Visa. They were our most trusted partners, because while the war was marred by the infamous green-on-blue attacks, our trust in them was so complete that they lived on our bases with easy access to huge quantities of weaponry and high explosives. The hazards they undertook were immense. From 2015 onwards, 22 Green Berets died in Afghanistan, compared to 47 NMRG members in the same time frame. We owe them a tremendous debt, but they've been abandoned. In the quagmire of the SIV approval process, many have been killed waiting, dozens are missing, and their applications are being increasingly denied for arbitrary reasons. So I understand some might ask, what made them volunteer for the most dangerous job in Afghanistan? I'll tell you that was faith. Faith that the United States of America was honorable and moral, would protect them in return for protecting us. And American leaders, civil and military, Democrat and Republican, were found faithless when it mattered the most. Now, rather than debating the normalization of the Taliban, I will illuminate the fallout of continued apathy and half measures. Because it is apathy that allows us to violate our principles and ignore promises. It's apathy which allows us to betray our allies. Now, apathy does not manifest itself to the failings of government, or does not limit itself to the failings of government. It leaches into our societal fabric and manifests in the indifferences of our leaders and our institutions. Now, given this current audience, I imagine that many here are likely familiar with National Geographic documentary Retrograde, which chronicles the final collapse of Afghanistan. Now, what makes it so impactful and so unconscionably damnable is that no faces are blurred, no identity is concealed, whether American or Afghan, a creative decision approved by Disney and Nat Geo executives. Think of the absolute arrogance required to believe that the Taliban somehow would not find an online video which chronicled their ultimate triumph. And if not arrogance, the absolute soulless indifference towards exposing and exploiting those who protected American soldiers. And so, as Retrograde became a hit in Hollywood, it became a hit list in Afghanistan. A hit list which the Taliban used to identify, abduct, torture, and kill one whom my organization pledged to protect, a 21-year-old father named Omar. Now, Disney has since refused to aid those who were exposed, the others, many dozens who were exposed, but they are far from alone in their own apathy. Because though Green Berets aspired to the motto, De oppressor libere, or to free the oppressed, senior leaders desecrated this ethos by permitting an outsider to put accolades and golden statues ahead of our own partner force. However, I'm not here for Disney or Nat Geo because they were enabled by policy. I'm here instead to give a voice to someone who had his taken, because while Omar was on his deathbed, an Afghan member of my foundation spoke with him and recorded his account. The following has been edited for the clarity of this roundtable, but a timestamp original has been entered into the record. Now, this is Omar's testimony. While on my way to the bazaar, Taliban members stopped my taxi and asked for my identification. They showed their commanders, but otherwise didn't do anything. However, 2 days later, they came to my home and arrested me. I was held for 16 days. They tortured me, drowned me, broke my ribs, and I lost consciousness multiple times. I don't remember being released, but one morning my family woke up to dogs barking and found me lying in the street. The beatings left me barely able to breathe, and a doctor said that my lung wasn't working. Then my family got me to Peshawar, Pakistan, where I then underwent 4 surgeries. While the Taliban had me, they showed me the Retrograde movie and accused me of working with the foreign forces in it. They asked me what my job was, and I told them that I cleared IEDs. They found me through Retrograde and are still asking villagers and family members about me. Unfortunately, soon after giving this statement, Omar would succumb to his wounds. So, we are here to talk about Taliban reprisals. That's your case study. Nat Geo gave the Taliban a target package. The Taliban used it. Now, in closing, I'll say that I hate that being an ally to the U.S. is such a thankless proposition. But beyond that, I want the gratitude that I enjoy as an American veteran extended to those who risked their lives for me. Habib Bostan, to our most senior NRG members, spent 19 years serving alongside U.S. troops. 19 years. Kashmir spent 15. Amman 10, Gardasha 8. All have had their applications, or their SIV applications rejected for nonsensical reasons. Let us now honor them for putting their lives on the line for this country, our country. So now, honorable members of the committee, will you let apathy damn them to the same fate as Omar? Will you instead enforce the promises made to them who protected American soldiers? I ask you that now that you designate the NMRG for prioritized processing within the SIV program so that they may truly be thanked for their services. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to your questions.